The window was 3 floors up. There was no escape. There had never been an escape. Chief, please, she whispered. I will be better. I will do whatever you say. Just don't. Don't what? Don't touch you? You're my wife. I can do anything I want. He took a step forward, then another. Chief Odili grabbed her by the hair and pulled. Her head snapped back and a scream tore from her throat. Not a polite, quiet scream, but the raw animal sound of someone who had run out of place to hide. Shut up, he shouted, shaking her like a rag doll. Shut your mouth. She couldn't. The screams kept coming, even as he slapped her, even as he threw her to the ground, even as he clapped on top of her and pressed his forearm against her throat. She screamed because it was the only thing left. Her body had been taken. Her voice had been taken. Her dreams had been taken. Just the scream. The scream was still hers. And somewhere in the mansion, someone heard it. The security guard. His name was Chidi, and he had worked for Chief Odili for 3 years. He had seen things in those 3 years. He had seen Chief slap a maid for breaking a glass. He had seen him throw a plate at the cook because the soup was too salty. He had seen him drag his first wife, and the one before Adeze, down the stairs by her hair. That wife had disappeared one day. The chief said she had gone back to her village. Chidi had never believed that. But this screaming was different. This was not the sound of a woman being slapped or pushed. This was the sound of someone dying. Chidi stood outside the door to Adeze's room, his hand on his security button, his heart pounding. The screaming did not stop. It got louder, and then, suddenly, it stopped. The silence was worse. Chidi pushed the door open. What he saw would stay with him for the rest of his life. Adeze was on the floor, her face turned to the other side, her eyes open but seeing nothing. Her purple dress was torn at the collar. There was blood on her lips, blood on her chin, blood pooling beneath her head where it had struck the corner of the bed table. Her hands were linked at her side, fingers slightly curled, like she had been reaching for something but had forgotten what. Chief Odili was standing over her, breathing hard, the whiskey bottle still in his hand. Chief, Chidi's voice came out as a croak. Chief Odili turned slowly, like a man waking from a dream. His eyes were glassy, unfocused. He looked at Chidi, as if trying to remember who he was. She fell, the chief said. She was drunk and she fell. Chidi looked at the body on the floor, at the blood, at the broken bottles, at the bruises on her throat, and were already turning purple. And he knew with a certainty that made his knees weaken. Chief, he said slowly, I have to call the police. The chief's eyes cleared. The rage returned. You will call nobody. You work for me. You do what I say. I work for you, Chidi agreed. But I am also a human. And that girl was somebody's daughter. He pulled out his phone. Chief Odili longed for him, but Chidi was younger and faster. Chidi dialed the emergency number with shaking fingers, and when the operator answered, he said the word that would change everything. There is a woman beaten, maybe dead. Please hurry up. The police arrived in 12 minutes. In those 12 minutes, Chidi knelt beside Adeze, holding her hand, whispering prayers he hadn't spoken since he was a boy. Her skin was already cooling. Her chest did not rise, but he prayed anyway because prayer was the only thing left. When the officers burst through the door, they found Chief Odili sitting on the edge of the bed, his head in his hands. The broken bottle was still on the floor. He did not resist. He did not speak. He just sat there, a man who had already destroyed something he could never rebuild. The ambulance came screaming down, lights flashing blue, red against the mansion and the palm trees. At the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Adeze was brought to the hospital. Adeze's mother, Ifeoma Okonkwo, had received the news from a neighbor who had heard it from someone. She just called her husband and they ran through the dusty streets of Ajegunle. She ran until her lungs burned and her legs gave out. When they got to the hospital, she ran down the corridor until she found the room. The doctor was standing outside, his face grey with exhaustion. Where is my daughter? She screamed. Where is Adam? The doctor opened the door. Adaise's parents walked in slowly. The way you walk towards something you know will destroy you. The sheet was pulled up to Adaise's chin, hiding the worst of the damage. Her face had been cleaned, but the bruises still bloomed beneath her skin. Her eyes were closed. Her lips were slightly parted. She looked like she was sleeping. Ifeoma touched her daughter's cheek. It was cold. Ada, she said softly. Ada, wake up. Mama is here. The silence stretched. Ada, please. Mama brought egusi, your favorite. Wake up and eat. Nothing happened. Ifeoma collapsed onto the bed, her body shaking with sobs so violently they seemed to tear her apart from the inside. My daughter, my only daughter, what have I done? What have I done to you? Mr. Okonkwo arrived an hour later. When he saw Adaise's body, he did not cry, he did not scream. He simply walked to the bed, took her cold hands in his, and sat down. He did not move again until the mortuary attendant came to take her away. Chief Godfrey Odili trial lasted 3 weeks. It was a media sensation. Every newspaper in Lagos carried the story. Lekki businessman kills teenage wife. Chief Odili arrested for murder. Ajegunle girl's death sparked out cry over domestic violence. Women's rights group protested outside the courthouse every day, holding signs that read, "Say no to child marriage," and "Others' life matters," and "Justice for the girls we move" have sold. Chief Odili was arrested and sentenced to life imprisonment. Adaise was buried in her village, a small town called Umuchuku, 3 hours from Lagos. The sky was grey that day, heavy with cloud, and refused to release their rain, as if heaven was holding its breath. The coffin was white, the color of innocence, the color of wedding gown she had worn 10 months before. Mr. Okonkwo stood at the graveside, his new shirt already soaked with sweat. He watched as they lowered his daughter. Every morning before the sun rose, Ifeoma walked to Adaise's grave, and then she talked. Ada, I'm sorry. The words came out the same way every day, soft, broken, and begging. I am sorry I did not see. I am sorry I did not ask. Ada, I am sorry. The word came out the same way every day, soft, broken, and begging. I am so sorry I did not see all of this. I am so sorry I ignored your tears. She would kneel in the dirt, her forehead touching the mound of the earth, her tears watering the flowers. Forgive me, my daughter. Forgive your mother. I did not know. I did not know that while I was sleeping on my new mattress, you were being beaten. I did not know that while I was watching the new television, you were being strangled. I did not know that while I was thanking God for money, you were dying. Adaise's mother kept returning to her grave. Every blessed day, she kept coming there. Until one night, she had a dream. She was walking through a field of cassava. Then she saw a figure standing under a tree, a young woman in a white dress. Ifeoma walked toward her. As she got closer, she saw the woman's face. It was Adaise, her own daughter. Ada, Ifeoma whispered. Adaise smiled. It was a real smile, the kind that reached her eyes. Mama, she said, you have to stop coming to the grave. Ifeoma shook her head. I cannot leave you. I cannot. You are not leaving me, Mama. I am here. I have always been here. But you are torturing yourself for something that was not your fault. It was my fault. I sent you to him. I took his money. Mama, Adaise stepped closer and took her mother's hand. Her touch was warm, real. You loved me, Mama. You never stopped loving me. That is all that mattered. You thought he was going to take care of me. You didn't know he was a monster. So it's not your fault, Mama. Please stop. But if I had known, you did not know, and I didn't tell you. That was my choice. I choose to protect you. I choose to protect the children. Do not take that choice away from me by drowning in guilt. Ifeoma wept. I miss you so much. Every day, every hour. I cannot breathe without you. I know, Adaise said softly, but you must breathe, Mama, for Chibuzo, for Ngozi, and for baby Ifeanyi. They need you, and I need you to live. Not just survive, live. The way I never got to. Adaise's figure went like smoke in sunlight. Wait, Ifeoma cried. Don't go, please. Adeze smiled one last time. I'm not going anywhere, Mama. I am in sunrise. I am in the rain. I am in Chibuzo's laughter and Ngozi's dreams and Ifeanyi's sticky fingers. Look for me there, and when you find me, do not cry. Just say hello. She was gone. Ifeoma woke up in her bed. Her face was wet with tears. For the first time in months, her chest did not feel like it was caving in. She sat up, looked out the window, and watched the sun rise over the zinc roof of her Jegunle.